What is up, everyone? Batch Leads Nation. I'm here today with my man, Nicholas. Nick, thanks for tuning in. This is the Investor Thrive Live hour. We do it every Wednesday where we come on here and we kind of break down how to wholesale better, how to make more money, because that's the objective, right? Everyone here is trying to get deals, trying to make money. So whatever we can do to help you guys, everyone that's watching this, that's live, that will watch this, that's why we're here. So Nicholas, tell me a little bit about how you got in the game and your little bit of your background.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely like a guerrilla entrepreneur in the sense of, I was a restaurant manager forever. 13 years I was a manager for. I think I was in the industry for 15, but I managed for 13 years until I was 30. After I left that, actually went on to work at a real estate education company. They hired me to throw events at first. I was really just lucky to be out of the restaurant industry,
Right.
to be honest with you. If you think about it, restaurants are events that happen several times a day, And so I saw this like event coordinator position available and I jumped on it. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I was throwing huge events for real estate investors.
Wow.
And some of them were for mastermind, some of them were for 300 person events. And it was really cool. Well, I did that for like 3 years. I ended up getting promoted several times. I became an executive at this company. And a lot of our clients were struggling with direct mail. And this was 9 years ago. So direct mail was popping and it was just starting to stop popping. And this client called me up, and it just broke my heart. She just spent $3,000 on direct mail. And she said that her phone didn't even ring once. So as a solution, I was like, well, what's free, right? Here I am, an executive trying to solve the problem for my corporation. And I'm like, well, people aren't happy. It's not that they're not happy with lead gen. They're unhappy with the price associated with direct mail, right? That's what they're unhappy with, right? And I realized that this is free. And, back then we just taught everybody to hand dial. Hey, get your list, get it skip traced, hand dial it. And we came up with these cool scripts. And what happened when that job came to an end, I'd probably taught 900 people how to cold call. And I was like, I've still never did it myself. I just threw the events and I, implemented the training. And so I went home and I was like, well, I've seen it work, so it's going to work for me too. And I started cold calling 300 to 600 people a day. And I was so good at generating leads. And I realized at the end of my first month, I had 75 leads. And it was my first month ever cold calling. It wasn't like my last month. It was my first month. And then before I knew it, a person called and they wanted to hire me. And now I'm lucky enough, I own Lead Mining Pros. And I definitely wager to say we're the top cold calling company out there.
That's amazing. So this is awesome to have you on here because this is the Batch Leads call where we basically want to help people, get lists, pull them, take action, call them, whether you're using batch dialer or you're hand dialing or doing whatever else is out there. It's all about taking action because that's how you see results. So tell me kind of through your experience, since you do come across so many data points and leads and produce leads, what are you, in your opinion, is the best list for people right now to go out and give a shot?
So my advice is so consistent. And the cool thing is we have data to back this up. So now what I say is, absentee owners with 35% or greater equity and individual owners, let me throw that in there as well, I'm not talking about LLCs, and purchased outside the last 2 years. Within that 2-year range, I just bought it. We hear that all the time. Now that list really is the best list. And there's really several reasons why. It's definitely our highest performer, and that's actual results. And I believe that that's because it's so much easier to talk about your second house. So imagine you have 2 cars. One of them is a Pinto. The other one is a Cadillac. Well, one day some guy knocks on her door and he's like, man, I've been looking for that Pinto. How much is that? Dude, make me an offer, man.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Now that same guy walks up to you and says, how much for the Cadillac? It's like, dude, what do you get out? Yeah. And so it's the same thing. So, I'm not a big fan of owner occupied. It's hard to cold call somebody and ask them about selling the home that they're standing in. People buy homes the same way they get married. Okay. Nobody gets married expecting to get a divorce. And
Mhm.
nobody buys a house expecting one day that they're going to get it foreclosed on. So this guy living in the pre-foreclosure house, this house was supposed to be his nest egg. Well, now he owes the bank so much money, he's about to lose it. Even if he told you a price, he's so busy living out the fantasy of it being his dream house,
Right.
right? That he can't even meet you at your point. So that's just an example on why, absentees, I think, are much better.
That's amazing, man. So kind of tell me about the lead generation, because I've gone through a lot of different cold calling companies and strategies to get leads. You say what makes yours different is the soil. They're on American soil. And I'm assuming you've tried everything, right? You probably tried like Filipinos.
Yeah, so we actually offer Filipinos too. So
Okay.
like the cool
Right.
thing about my site is you can really pick whatever you want. I can tell you that the Americans are generating leads at least twice as often, sometimes three times more often. And it is such a numbers game. And I only charge twice more for the Americans. So
Mhm.
if they're performing 2 to 3 times better, it's worth it every time to go to them. My 13 years in the restaurant career really taught me people. Then when I cold called, I probably cold called over 70,000 people myself. I didn't know, like looking back, it's almost like a Bible story. Like there was this huge pot of gold, but I didn't know. Like I was trying to close real estate deals, not
Mhm.
make a lead generation company. But dude, I was getting crazy with the script. I was changing what I was saying. I had a rule, and it was every 5 times I say something, I'm going to say it different.
Okay.
Okay. So say it 5 times, evaluate, say it different. 5 times, evaluate, say it different. And I learned very quickly what works and what doesn't work. And the script that we use, and I offer it for free on the website at leadminingpros.com, that is created from all that. And the truth is, it's not ninja, it's not crazy, but it's just refined. It
Mhm.
started at that baseline. And then over the years, sometimes a client will call and be like, Nick, you should change the wording to this. And
Mhm.
they're right. And I'm like, yo, that's ninja. So for example, we used to ask our clients if they were open to owner financing. So the other cool thing about our script is after 6 years of clients reading it and going, hey, I think I have a better way to say that, we kind of get it upgraded over time. So I think it's our training, and I think that it's our employee morale. If I could be 100% honest with you, happy employees generate great leads. Nobody is out there pissed off generating leads.
Because it comes through the phone. Like if someone calls you and you can feel their energy. If they're upset, you're like, what's going on? You don't even
Yeah.
know the person. You can feel
Yeah.
there's something's off. So tell me, do you train your cold callers a week? Is it like a week, monthly thing? Is it a weekly? Tell me about
Honestly,
that.
it's really great systems, and I'll explain that. The training initially is 6 hours. They meet with my operations manager and they come in, and she shows them the dialer. She shows them how to clock in and out. I also send everybody a copy of a cold calling course I used to create. I give them all this cold calling course, and then I have them watch that. Then I have them start training, and they train with Jennifer for about 4 to 6 hours, probably 2 hours a day over 3 days. And then Jennifer shows them what to do, and then she observes them cold calling. And then we just monitor KPIs from that point on. And then every week, Jennifer listens to 5 call recordings from each caller and
Wow.
gives everybody feedback no matter what, good or bad.
Well, let me ask you this. With the way that you run the business, do they have to hit a certain amount of work hours a week?
I do it in reverse. So
Uh,
I like them to work a minimum of 5 hours a week generally. In reverse, I give each person a $50 bonus every week if they work 25 hours. You'll notice, like, I have all these systems even that I forget, but I have all these like little cherry on tops,
yeah.
like everywhere. I have it with my clients, I have it with my customers, I have it with my employees. Like, hey, you want to go a little further for me? Bam!
I like
Here-
that.
Here's
Awesome.
some money for you. Yeah.
Wow, that's a really cool way to look at it. Instead of being like, all right, you have to work 20 hours this week. It's like, bro, just, put in 5. That's the minimum that you have to do, Uber model. But if you go above and beyond, I'm going to reward you.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And I don't want to reward them for leads because I don't want them to start sending through crappy leads. And then now I'm paying them bonuses to piss off my customers.
Tell me, for people that are watching this, they can obviously reach out to you if they want to start using your done for you cold calling service. But if they're like, I can figure this out on my own, can you give some people that are watching this some steps in order to kind of start that lead gen process if they pull
Yeah.
the list through batch? they get the list, they skip trace, they got that. Now, what's the next step?
The next step, if you're going to do it yourself, there's quite a few, right? I mean, we got to find a dialer. I believe Batch provides a dialer.
Batch dialer, yes.
Yeah, and I'm sure that it's all synced up. So that's going to save you a couple steps. I would go to our website and get our script off the website. Okay. And then
Leadminingpros.com. Is that right?
leadminingpros.com. Yeah. And get the script. And then I would just start pounding these people. And, be uplifting, be relentless, be in a good mood. If you're in a bad mood, don't do this. You'll just be in a worse mood by the time you're done.
Nick, that was awesome, man. I think your expertise and you bringing it over here to the Invest Drive Live that we do every month, we're going to have you on. And yeah, man, I think that's great that you're able to give us that information. I want to just say what I've learned from just chatting with you today is your employees, they have to be happy, they have to be in a good mood. And I think a lot of people probably just push through it and they force it. And I think it's important to get yourself to a point where you're like, hey, life is good. Like, I guess being grateful, being happy. And that might even go deeper into like yourself and your process of like how you get ready for the day, but definitely important to have a good community and culture. So Nicholas, we're going to wrap this thing up because I got to call another thing to be on, but I appreciate your time, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure, Nathan. Thank you, dude.
Catch you guys later. Peace out, everybody.